Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Armed Neos Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post-Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge. We have the new Armed Neos. This is an homage to Chaz and Jaden from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, combining their two ace monsters together with Jaden's Neos and Chaz's Armed Dragon. I want to say either Armed Dragon level 7 or Armed Dragon level 10. There's really no specification for the Armed Dragon monster that you need to fuse for this fusion card, but it is a really awesome addition to any Neospatian deck, just being able to give you additional plays for your elemental hero monsters and then an additional destruction play like the Armed Dragon monsters. So with this being more or less a revision to the Neospatian deck, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. We're still running the two Elemental Hero Neos. I feel that's all you need. You can really easily search this card out with some of the other cards in the deck, so no need for additional copies other than that in the deck for you to use. Just being able to use them for your contact fusions and then being able to shuffle them back from the graveyard with some of our other cards for even more contact fusions. For the Neospatian lineup, the one copy of Aqua Dolphin, the one Flare Scarab, the one Dark Panther, the one Hummingbird, and the one Grand Mole. Just not the biggest fan of Glow Moss, but you could always substitute out any of the Neospatian monsters for an additional spot for Glow Moss. I know Air Hummingbird is more of the difficult one to get a copy of the fusion monsters. You could always replace Air Hummingbird for that Glow Moss spot, and then the same for the Air Neos from the extra deck as well, if you wish for that spot also. For some of the other one-ofs, we are running the one Armed Dragon level 10. This is needed for the summon for our Elemental Hero Neos or Armed Neos monster to summon out. So with this card just being that one of, it is needed in the graveyard for that setup for the play. And even if we open it up in our hand and we have it for more of a discard cost, some of the better plays to use with it also involved Favorite Contact, which I can go over at the end of the video as well. The one Rainbow Dragon for the Rainbow Neos play, and then the one Yubel and the one Neos Wiseman for the Neos Kluger play as well in the extra deck. For some of the bigger numbers for the monsters in the main deck. Also 3 copies of Crosskeeper. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon one Elemental Hero monster or one Neospatian monster from your hand or graveyard, but negate its effects. If summoned from the graveyard, you can special summon an Elemental Hero fusion monster while this card's in your graveyard, except during the damage step, and banish this card to draw 2 cards. Then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. So with the special summon of that monster, with the play, you have the additional draw power that your Crosskeeper can provide. And for more special summon power for our Neospatians, we're also running the 3 Neospace connector. Just another easy way to also special summon out Neos if need be from the hand or deck in defense position, and then tributing this card to special summon either Neos or a Neospatian from our graveyard back onto the field to give us our contact play. But even if we open up cards like, let's say, the Armed Dragon level 10 in our hand, and we just need to get Neos into our hand that much more quickly, you can use Neospace connector for that also. Also 2 copies of Elemental Hero Spirit of Neos. This card, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense. It cannot be destroyed by battle. If it's special summon, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 polymerization or 1 spell trap that mentions an Elemental Hero monster or card name. And during your main phase, you can shuffle this card from into the deck and special summon 1 Elemental Hero normal monster from your deck. So another way to get Neos back onto the field, and easy special summon on the field with a search power for a fusion card as well. You have just the fusion play for Armed Neos, so you could get this out with polymerization as well for that play, with the last of the main deck monsters being 2 copies of Keeper of Dragon Magic. Just an easy search to get our Neos fusion to our hand as well by discarding another card using this one for that play setup. And that's it for the main deck monsters. Moving on to the spells. 3 Neos Fusion. This is still probably the easiest way to summon out your Armed Neos. You special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that lists exactly 2 monsters as material, including Elemental Hero Neos. And then you have the protection effect when a card would leave the field that has the Elemental Hero as material. So with this card, you can use it to send the Armed Dragon level 10 and then your Elemental Hero Neos to the graveyard to get your special summon of of your armed Neos onto the field. And then you have your monster set up in the graveyard as well. When it's special summon, to choose a dragon monster in your graveyard and destroy all monsters with or equal to a level lower than that card. That's why we go for the armed dragon level 10, since it has the highest possible level outcome for us to use with this card. We're also running the 3 copies of EN Engage Neospace. You send 1 Neospatian monster and 1 elemental hero monster from your hand and 1 for your deck to the graveyard to special summon Neospatian or level 5 or higher elemental hero monster from your deck, and then add 1 polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand, re-adding that fusion play to go into some of the other plays we may need for the summons, whether it be Rainbow Dragon, Yubel, or Armed Dragon. You have all of the search power, thanks to this card, to set up Neos to use with polymerization into those monsters. Also, the 2 copies of the Instant Contact to give us another special summon from the extra deck. This one is especially useful when we use the Flame Wingman summon to then use with our Shining Neos Wingman and our Elemental Hero Neos to have a bigger boss monster play on the field also. And 2 copies of EN Shuffle. With this card, you shuffle 1 Elemental Hero monster or Neospatian monster you control into the deck and special summon 1 Elemental Hero or Neospatian with a different name from your deck. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to shuffle from your graveyard into the deck either 1 Elemental Hero monster and 1 Neospatian or 1 Elemental Hero Neos, then draw 1 card. So you have draw power with this card, but also just being able to turn a Neospatian that's either already used its card effect or, doesn't have any other effect to get a bigger boss monster on the field, and then the additional graveyard draw power. We're also running 2 copies of Miracle Contact. These were the cards that can be used to reshuffle Neos back into the deck again, and then special summoning a monster that lists Elemental Hero Neos as fusion material. So if you have the Armed Dragon level 10 in your graveyard, let's say it was sent there for a discard cost of another monster, and Neos is in there as well, this can be another way to shuffle them back into the deck to special summon out our new boss monster out onto the field with the same fusion requirements. For some of the one-ofs for these spells, 1 copy of Elemental Hero, or Elemental Hero Reinforcement of the Army, sounds like a better name for that, Neospace Connector Searcher, the Polymerization, because we have plenty of cards like Engage Neospace to add this to hand, the Miracle Fusion for an additional fusion option for some of the cards in the extra deck, and also the 1 Call by the Grave for the last of the fusion spell lineup that we run in the deck also. I said fusion spell lineup, but just 1 of spell lineup that we run in the main deck. As for the traps, with Armed Neos being a big card that benefits from being summoned on your opponent's turn, I'm running 3 copies of Favorite Contact. You special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions a hero monster as material, ignoring its summoning condition, by placing the fusion materials mentioned on it on the bottom of the deck in any order from among the cards in your hand, field, graveyard, and or banish cards. If you placed Elemental Hero Neos into the deck, neither player can return the monster special summoned by this effect to the extra deck. You go and activate 1 Favorite Contact per turn. So I even potentially would want to run more than 1 copy of Armed Neos. I can show what card you can take out for a second copy, because then it just lets you reuse your monsters again for a Armed Neos summon during your opponent's turn, and then activating that effect when it is special summoned onto the field. So a definite 3 of just to have that set up, but you can also utilize it with any of the other cards we have in the deck as well. With the main deck taken care of, we'll now move on to the extra deck. I run the 1 copy of Armed Neos, but if I were to run a second copy, I'll show you what card you can take out for that additional spot. It must be fusion summon. If it's special summon, you can show and choose 1 dragon monster in your graveyard and destroy all monsters your opponent control with equal or less than that monster. And when this card destroys a monster by battle, you can make this card gain the following effect. During the main phase quick effect, you contribute this card. Special summon 1 Elemental Hero fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, giving you access to a plethora of different Elemental Hero monsters you may want to run additionally to some of the other ones in the deck, since it ignores the summoning conditions of that Elemental Hero monster, just giving it another resource for the tribute of this card to get another bigger boss monster out on the field also. We're also running the 1 copy of Elemental Hero Brave Neos, the 1 copy of Neos Kluger, the 1 Rainbow Neos, along with the 1 Marine Neos and the 1 Marine Dolphin. The Marine Dolphin making an easy special summon when we use cards like the Instant Contact to summon down on the field, and then use it for the Neos play with our Neo Marine Neos. and also the 1 copy of Aqua Neos, the 1 additional copy of Air Neos. Now, I know Air Neos is a little more difficult to come by, so if you don't have Air Neos, it can always be the replacement spot for the 2nd copy of Arm Neos or the Glow Neos spot in the deck. And then also the 1 Flare Neos and 1 Grand Neos, and also the 1 copy of Dark Neos for the 1 of contacts for your Elemental Hero Neos fusion plays. For the bigger fusions, the 1 Elemental Hero Nebula Neos, along with the 1 Magma Neos, 1 Neos Wingman, and the 1 Flame Wingman. If you wanted to run the Arm Neos, but keep either the Glow Neos or the Air Neos play, you could always take out either the Magma Neos or the Nebula Neos for that additional 2nd spot for the Arm Neos position in the deck. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, like I said before with Keeper of Dragon Magic, if you happen to open up your Armed Dragon monster play in your hand, so if you have the card in your hand, in your opening hand, let's say, you can discard it for the cost of your Keeper of Dragon Magic, giving you the search for the Neos Fusion. Then you can activate the Neos Fusion to send what is needed for another one of your monsters. It could just be another contact play, so you could send Grand Mole and then also your Neos to the graveyard, because then that'll set up the Neos to use with the Armed Dragon level 10 in your graveyard, summoning out the needed fusion monster for whatever you summon out with the Neos Fusion. And then all you need is the card I mentioned before, which is the Favorite Contact, being able to set up this card for the activation on the following turn. So with the Armed Dragon level 10, you discard it, and the Neos being shuffled back into the deck, and actually just place them on the bottom of the deck. Remember, you don't shuffle them. And then that'll give you the summon of your Armed Neos onto the field as well. The only thing that is the negative placement of the Favorite Contact is that you have the Dragon monster that is supposed to be in the deck on the bottom. So the one thing you may want to make use of is to have the additional copy of Keeper of the Dragon Magic in your graveyard, because it counts as an additional dragon monster for you at least to be able to destroy with your Armed Neos. Whether you destroy it by your own means or your opponent's means and then you activate the Favorite Contact, the only restriction that you'll have in comparison is that you'll have a level 4 monster for the target, but enough of times that could be enough of a target to use against your opponent for the destruction play, getting rid of any level 4 or lower monsters, knowing when to do so before they even start their initial play. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. It's a really awesome addition to the Neospatian deck, and I hope you all give it a try in it as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.